following the conclusion of our Corporate Sprint Accelerator 8. You were in fact the receiver of the second place prize of $10,000. So again, congratulations. It was
Thank you very much.
Of course. So what we want to do is get to know you more as a founder. We know about Finweg, we know Finweg's story. And I want to start by asking you a question that I know says a lot about the founder. And it's, what motivates you to get up in the morning every day? It doesn't have to be Finweg, it can be something personal.
But I don't really need a special motivation to get up every morning. So there are a lot of things I want to do in my professional life, let's say, and my private life as well. So I haven't time, hours enough in the day to do all of them. So there's no special need to have something to motivate me to wake up every morning.
Yeah, so you're someone who just enjoys life the way it goes. Are you an early bird, Vladimiro? Wondering.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay.
So I get up early.
And when you think back to your journey as an entrepreneur, does someone pop into your mind who has inspired you to take the path of finding a startup?
I would say my wife. More than inspiration is support and inspiration as well. So she's always supporting me when I have to make a decision. She always says, go for it and we will see. So that makes it easy when you have doubts.
No, 100%.
So
I
having
agree.
somebody that says, don't worry, we will be able to solve it, the problems when they come.
Yeah. No, I think support as a startup founder is very important. And I like that positive approach of we'll figure it out eventually, as with any problem that comes your way. And thank you for sharing. I personally believe that mistakes shape us as entrepreneurs and as people in our personal lives. Brings me to my next question, which is, what is the biggest mistake you are glad you made? Can be related to Finweg as a startup or you as a person?
Well, I would say my biggest mistake was a long time ago. When I was working in the first company where I was working, I had the opportunity then to move to the incumbent telco operator. There was just one operator. That was the old times. But I had at the same time the opportunity to join the company that was granted the second license to compete with the incumbent, which was completely something new. And at the same time, they were in a privatization process. So I decided to join the new company, and after a few weeks, the new shareholders, they fired the management team. So my boss was fired, and I was only a few weeks there. But I had the chance to work in the setting up of a new operator, and I got a wide experience. At the end, all the team, we have to move away. And I had the opportunity to move to the incumbent operator in order to launch new operators in other countries. So at the end, it was, let's say, a mistake because it was a tough situation, but it brought me to a new opportunity after that. So, and I learned a lot of that. So it's better to make a decision to do something instead of making the decision of not doing it because it's some risk.
No, I agree. And what's important is the lesson you learn out of it, right? I'm sure that experience has taught you a lot moving forward. So sometimes mistakes are what shape us as founders.
And 100%. If you do not try something new, you are not going to make mistakes, but you are not going to have new opportunities to grow.
Exactly. On that topic, I think one of the burning questions people usually ask to founders is, how do you balance your passions and your personal life with your startup? Because there's often this perception that we work 24/7, which is true in most cases, but we also have a balance between work and life. So what's your take on this?
Of course, working in a startup is not working from 9 in the morning till 3 or 5 in the afternoon and then forget it and the weekend. So you have to be flexible and think you have to work whenever you need to work, even weekends and so on. But of course, it's important to find the right balance between dedicating a lot of time for your work, but also having time for your family and your personal challenges or whatever it is. And I think what is important, even if you're a small team, is to build a team. And it is also not having a single point of failure in terms of that it's something that only you are able to do. Because if something happens and you get ill or whatever, there's somebody else that has to be able to cope with it. So if you create a good team, then you can have also your personal time even if it is necessary to be almost 24 hours the day.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the team is a very, very important aspect in a startup. Whether it's from the perspective of the startup itself, or we know that, for example, VCs always look at the team first, because essentially it's us who drive the success of the startup. And like you said, having someone will always help in balancing, the work, your personal life, your passion. Well, great. Thank you for sharing your personal story with me for these questions. I want to move now more towards the business side of things. And I wanted to first ask you if you can give us, from your experience, low-risk ways to enter new markets as a new and ambitious startup. Because I know what you do as Finweg is quite an ambitious step towards digitizing the financial industry through blockchain technologies. And I know there's a lot of misconceptions, there's a lot of education that needs to happen in the market. So how do you approach it?
So entering a new market is always a challenge. It doesn't matter what you are offering, because a new market means new players, new culture, and different rules in how you make business. Although they are more or less similar in everywhere, but at the end you have to know the local rules where you are playing the match. So it's important to have a partner. It can be a kind of distributor if what you are offering can be sold through distributors, or you need a partner that helps you introducing in the market and know in the market and how to deal with it.
Yep, that's a very good point, because we've worked with you over 4 weeks and we've seen the potential and the promise of your solution. But I want to hear from your perspective, how do you see Finweg transforming the UAE market and the financial institutions that are in the UAE?
But one of the things that we have learned in this process with you is that the UAE and the region is not that different from, for example, our market in Spain. So there are a lot of SMEs. In fact, it's more than 90% of the companies in the UAE are SMEs. So which is like in Spain, we have more than 90% of the companies are SMEs. And SMEs, the access to financing resources for SMEs is always a little tougher than for big corporations. So
agreed.
Obtaining financing and liquidity for the business operations is always a challenge. And this is where exactly we provide solutions as we tokenize the payment agreements, and they can get financing from them. So we think we are in a very good position to offer our experience in a similar market, which was, as I said, a surprise for me. We didn't know that we were in.
Yeah, sometimes you're surprised by the synergies in the different markets that you operate in. I think there's definitely a market for SMEs in the UAE, and I do agree that as a smaller startup, maybe in your scaling phase, your access to finances are not as let's say broad as a large corporation. So definitely there is a fit for Finweg there. I 100% agree. Well, thank you for sharing. And I want to now move and discuss the blockchain industry because this is something I'm sure you're well versed of. I know you've given talks before about blockchain, and you had one, I believe, the 3rd week of the program. So I wanted to first ask, is there something that you wish was different in the blockchain industry currently? It doesn't have to be technology specific. It could be the industry, let's say direction in general, or the gaps that are not being addressed by the blockchain industry currently. Just wanted to hear your experience in that.
Yeah, so from the very beginning, as blockchain was related with the cryptos, and cryptos were seen as a competitor, I mean, to some extent they are competitor to, let's say, to the regulated market of money and banks and institutions. So it has been always been like a blockchain was, from the regulators, it was always seen as a kind of something that we have to prevent or restrict and so on. But this is not really true, because blockchain is a technology. If you use it in the right way, it's like a knife. A knife is not a weapon. A knife is a tool. You can use it as a weapon, but it's not it's the same with blockchain. And the truth is that blockchain let's say in the crypto market is evolving quite fast and demonstrating that it is possible to do things in a different way, which it can be very efficient. If you bring that in the regulated environment, you are providing more confidence to consumers, because at the end, I do not want to have my money in the hands of somebody that I don't know. I prefer to have it under a regulated model, but in an efficient way. And this is where it's a pity that there's still a lack from the regulators to consider blockchain as something that they can provide.
I agree. And I think I was at fault at some point in my life, because I thought crypto and blockchain go hand in hand. When I realized blockchain is a whole technology on its own, and it's a world of opportunities that is yet to be explored, right? Learning about smart contract application, the security and trust and authentication that blockchain provides as a technology, all of these that are not related to crypto. And I think you're right. I think because the general market saw the hype and the potential of making money in crypto, and it became more mainstream, that's what I would say the average person started to know, right? Crypto, blockchain, that's what my relation with it is. I think you need to dive deeper and be willing to learn more about blockchain as a technology to find out the true potential.
And
I think you're
blockchain
right.
is much more than just only crypto.
Yeah. No, I agree, 100%. And that brings me to my final question, Vladimir, and it's: are there any specific applications in blockchain technology that you're excited about? Anything new in development or anything that you've seen is quite, the exciting way to use blockchain technology?
Definitely tokenization. So because at the end, what you're doing is transforming any kind of asset in a digital asset. So this provides you the way to make a real digital transformation of processes, because you can transform the whole process. And if you look, for example, now everybody's crazy with NFTs because the news are again that NFT has been sold for so many money, and everybody wants to get rich and get the NFT that is going to be sold in millions. But the reality is that NFTs is not only selling a picture for a number of millions. So around NFTs, there's a completely new industry, because NFTs at the end is a tokenization of something, and you can create new industries around it, and even you can create decentralized organizations where the token is providing you the rights for making decisions, and you can do it in a completely digital model with a trusted infrastructure behind it. So there's going to be a revolution in that area.
I agree, and I'm currently seeing that there are the market is starting to see applications in real estate tokenization.
Yeah, for example.
Where you can own you can have partial ownership in NFTs that are related to tokenized real estate, which I think presents as a great opportunity moving forward.
But even a step further is that you can own a piece of that real estate, but then you have also the right to make decisions, because you can create a decentralized organization for certain decisions. So it's not only that you have a piece of that and then you get the benefits, but also you can participate in the decision. So this is something that is possible thanks to the tokenization.
Yeah, I know. I think it's very exciting. Blockchain technology is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to see what develops in the next 3 to 5 years.
And it's speeding up. The process is...
So it continues to... It's an exponential approach. And I think,
exactly.
Once more markets adopt the technology more, I think there will be a certain level of comfort around the world where we accept blockchain. We realize it's not this scary technology that we should shy away from. Rather utilize it.
The problem is that we talk a lot about blockchain, and so it will explode definitely when we start not talking about the blockchain, but the use case that we are using because people doesn't matter what the technology is. So nobody knows how internet works, and there's no need to know how the HTTPS protocol is working or how the DNS solve the problem, solve the directions to reach the server and so on. People know that what they can do with internet. So this is what is still missing with blockchain. But people doesn't want to know about how the technology works, but what they offer you. And this is what is still missing.
The question of what's in it for them. Well, Vladimir, I'm really excited to see Finweg in the UAE at some point. Hopefully soon. See you expanding in the UAE. Hopefully very soon. Yes, I agree. And thank you so much for your time, for sharing some valuable information on the business aspect, technology aspect, as well as sharing with us some of your personal story. I enjoyed having you on the program, and I enjoyed talking to you now. And I hope we will reconnect soon.
Thank you very much to you, Hannah, and all the team and the startAD. It was a really worth program.